he's added a couple of nuances to the conversation since we last spoke. But I think what I said would happen is going to happen in this conversation, because I do not believe that God is in heaven passing out or handing out little baby spirits every time someone is being born. However, what I do not agree with is that the spirit that we are born with is a different kind of spirit than Adam was created with. That is where I do not agree, because I feel like the same spirit that was given to Adam, which was given from God,
agreed,
is the same spirit that we get when we are born. And for me,
the first time. Okay.
And for me, when I think of things, it's a, by default, yes, the Father is used as the vessel, but the spirit, since it is the same spirit, I believe, that Adam had when he was created, I personally believe that by default, we could say that spirit does come from God, because I do not believe that Adam had a different spirit than the one we have.
So you're saying...
Than the one we were first born with.
Right.
Because the Bible is clear in saying that you have to be born from above.
That is true.
It is clear.
That is true.
However, and I don't know if I want to open this can of worms up right now. But however, I have, in my research and in my study, I cannot sit here and say that the spirit was what was cursed.
So now we're going to the fall.
In my studies, I can't say that the spirit was what was cursed. So then I would say that's why I say that I believe we have the same human spirit, that was given from God to Adam.
Okay, but back up. So if we're going to say, I think in order to make...
I almost heard that I agree.
Yeah, I'm not giving you that. Okay, so in order to say, though, that the human spirit wasn't cursed, I think then we have to put parameters around what we are saying. Because are we saying the curse is simply what God said in Genesis 3? Or does the curse start with their disobedience?
Now, do not get me wrong. The spirit was affected by the curse.
But the curse was not imposed on the spirit. So how
it was not direct. So here's the thing. In Genesis 3, I'm in ESV if you're going to
I'm aware.
But in Genesis 3, God speaks to the serpent first. He speaks to the woman. Everything that he speaks to the woman is regarding some type of, he speaks first to the physical in childbearing body, and next he speaks to her desires, which are encamped in the soul.
Correct.
Then he goes to Adam, and then he speaks of, he curses the ground and talks about how in pain you shall eat of it to all the days of your life, talking to the body. Then he talks about how by the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, also talking about physical toil, physical work. He has to work, as in before he did not have to work. He did not have to physically work for anything. Like they had access to everything.
Right.
So he speaks to the body, but then he says, "For you are dust, and to dust you shall return." I believe that there it can be seen as he is cursing the body, but I actually believe that he's showing mercy, because he's giving an end to what now is something that was awakened. It was always there. It wasn't put in there, but it was awakened when they ate.
Okay. I see where you're going, My only thing is.
There always has to be the only thing.
I was just saying.
Oh.
Okay, so my only thing is, prior to them getting in this predicament, which happened because they ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Prior to this happening, prior to God coming back and cursing them, he had already said, I think in my mind, the curse doesn't start in Genesis 3. The outline of it starts in Genesis 2.
Agreed.
When God says, do not eat of this
Agreed.
tree, because if you eat of it, you're going to die. That pronouncement of death, I think, is what could be classified as the part that the spirit got cursed. Because after Genesis 3, we don't see them physically dying yet.
But did they die?
They did die.
Okay.
But what part of them died? It wasn't the body, and it wasn't the soul.
Who's to say that death that he spoke of was immediate?
Because King James says...
Wait. Let me pull up King Jimmy.
Listen,
Let me pull up
because, you know,
King Jimmy.
King James does this crazy thing about, like, duplicating words, like saying... dying, you will die, to add the immediacy on it. Let's go to 2 and 16.
16. Okay. Oh yeah. I see. Yep.
Okay, you and let me do.
I am in King Jimmy.
Let me pull up King Jimmy
because this
is the only Bible Jesus used.
That's a lot. Wait, okay, so are you? Because I'm in Bible Gateway. Because now we got to see what software we're using.
Okay, I'm in Logos.
Okay. Wait, let me go there. So now we all on the same page. So Genesis 2, we're gonna start at 16. All right, we all on the same page. Here we go.
All right, so we got, and the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. So here I think we have the beginning of the curse, because the curse, part of the curse, prior to God elaborating on it in Genesis 3, is once you eat this, in that day, you are going to die. And at this point, days are not God's like 1,000-year days. Like at this point, we have the creation of the seasons, the times, so we got to deal with a day as a day.
Correct.
At this point, we are past creation day 4.
Okay. However, my flip to that and my pushback to that is number 1.
Okay.
We coming out of King Jimmy. You know how I feel about
okay, we can come out of
That's number 1. That's number 1. But number 2, let me go back to.
You're going back to ESV, right?
The best version there is ESV.
Well, okay. That's a whole nother conversation.
Okay. Which it does say.
It does say in ESV, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. And Adam and Eve did not die that day physically.
However, this is also before Eve was created. So Adam is the only one.
Eve was created. Eve, as far as the woman in a female body.
Correct.
Okay.
So this was given to Adam, but this still does not negate the fact that I believe we still get the spirit that Adam had
on this day. This spirit that the Bible says was created in the image and likeness of God.
Correct.
And you think that let's not even bring it all the way to our day. Let's just take it a couple hundred years. And you think that when David was born.
Because again, it says that when they ate of it, something was awakened. It was awakened. Which means that it was already in there. It was already a possibility.
Okay, I'll give you that.
It was awakened.
I'll give you that.
So it was when God created Adam in spirit. That means that in that creation there was something in there. Because if not, why would he even have to warn him? And if not, why would God even have to think, let me tell him not to do